Hello, Studio 5 going live again. Is there no stopping me? Anyway, I'm sure there is somewhere along the line. Anyway, we're still on with onlays at the moment, and as you can see, I've put on all the onlays, and I'm just about to remove the paper from the last onlay here. But first, what I'd like to do is give you a very quick rundown of how the onlay is applied. Well, first of all, what I do with the onlay is I, of course, cut it to the correct size. I then put my mix of PVA paste adhesive on the back. Of course, don't forget to bevel the edges. Whack it down in place, and then through clean waste paper with either a bone folder, bamboo folder or Teflon folder or whatever you're using, give it a firm rub down, and then very gently find the edge and make sure that the edges, that beveled edge, is pushed down as well. Don't run it backwards and forwards with lots of pressure. It's more of a down push pressure, moving it along, because you don't want huge ridges and bone folder lines in your leather. When you've done that, and of course this is the way I do it, there are other ways of doing it of course, then what I do is I get a piece of silicone release paper, which is this paper that's got a shiny surface on one surface. You know, it's stuff that's used for backing sticky labels and that sort of thing. Put it down shiny side down. Some medium spongy sponge. I suppose you could use an old Pilates mat, as long as you wash it or whatever. Whack that on top, and then of course a pressing board. So we've got a pressing board on top and underneath, then into the old press and press until dry. And that's as simple as that, really is. I tend to work with maybe 1 or 2 onlays at a time, get it into the press, take it out after a few minutes, put another couple of onlays down, get it back into the press and work that way with it. Now, removing the paper is extraordinarily simple. I've got one of these little brushes here. Again, you could use, this is a water brush. We've got this barrel here full of water. Well, it was full of water this morning. And you squeeze just here and water comes out and you just brush on. Or of course you could just use a cotton bud or something like that with water, or indeed, you know, a paintbrush, anything that you've got handy that will do the job. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply the water to the paper, and remember the paste that I used to get this paper down in place was a very thin paste. We don't want there to be a lot of contact because we want this paper to come off as cleanly as possible. And of course, because I'm showing you and going live, and because there's no takes or edits in going live, this is bound to go very, very, very wrong. But basically just try and get the water down onto there nice and neatly. Leave it for a few seconds. And then very, very gently lift it up. Now, this is where obviously it is going to go wrong. And just gently peel back. Try not to score the surface of the leather at all. And just peel back like that. And this is coming off quite cleanly. So that's one piece off. And again, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to find a corner where I can lift it, bring it up. Just lift it, bring it up, nice and gently. And any little bits and bobs that are left on there, again, a cotton bud or a piece of cotton wool, something like that, just to gently rub over the top. Again, don't rub too hard. Maybe a little bit more fairy juice on there. Just get rid of as much of the paper as we possibly can, and that is how we take the paper off the onlay. Nice and simple, nice and easy, nothing complicated. Anyway, I hope that was okay. So you've seen how we get the onlays on. Next I'll be looking at back pairing a larger piece of leather. That's following on of course from the Studio 5 Going Live introduction to onlay work. Anyway, thank you all very much indeed. This has been Studio 5 Going. Oh yes, and what I will do is I'll just wait for that to dry, and then I'll put it back into the press again with the silicone release, the foam and the pressing board. Again, one pressing board underneath, one pressing board on top. Anyway, Studio 5 Going Live, thank you all very much indeed. Have a lovely afternoon, morning, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you all very much indeed. Bye-bye.